You are looking live at some live pictures out of Philadelphia. This is a protest this morning, believed to be an anti-ICE message as they're gathering there in Philadelphia. These protests happening across the nation, most active last night in Minneapolis with a lot of bell ringing outside of hotels. Looks pretty quiet there. A lot of standing around this morning. We'll keep an eye on it and let you know if it gets a little more lively as the day goes on. Portland's Democratic Socialists of America are calling for a national day of action today to free Maduro. That same group took to the streets here in the U.S. just a few months ago in a protest of President Trump, calling for him to be removed from power.
Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Donald Trump has got to go.
Not just protesters who are flip-flopping. Here's Ms. Now's Jen Psaki last Saturday talking about the capture of Maduro.
If you're sitting at home and you're watching all of this unfold and you're trying to make sense of it all day to day, and you're wondering if this isn't about an arrest of a bad guy or about drugs or about oil or about regime change, I get it. I mean, it's confusing because the Trump administration has made it all confusing because they don't have a justification for this that makes sense.
But back in November, the MS Now host accused President Trump of, quote, liking authoritarian thugs.
I mean, he likes authoritarian thugs. He responds to them. They probably know how to manage him and flatter him.
And here is Jen's colleague, Rachel Maddow, on Monday.
Maybe what this is the simplest thing imaginable. Maybe what this is a president who can barely bother with coming up with some clearly false pretext, because what he really wants is totally unilateral, totally unaccountable, unquestioned ability to use the U.S. military anywhere for any purpose against anyone, even if it is inexplicable or unpopular or even illegal.
And here she is back in 2024 accusing President Trump of being a dictator.
They not only admire each other's tactics, they copy each other's tactics. They support each other in doing those kinds of tactics whenever they can. And they support each other.
Now let's bring in Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Great to be with you. Happy Saturday. Thanks for being with us. What do you make of this? This was a lot of sound, a long string of the back and forth of switching perspectives.
Yeah. Well, I got to give a golf clap, by the way, Molly, to you and your producers, because that is journalism we just saw right there. That's the old Tim Russert, Meet the Press. Okay, here's what you said then. Here's what you're saying now. Boy, that seems like a big contradiction and completely hypocritical. So explain your difference in position then and now. It's all to push whatever narrative is hot that particular day. So Trump loves dictators until he actually arrests one with a snatch and grab, brings them back to New York, in this case, Maduro and his wife, to stand trial for narco-terrorism, bringing cocaine to this country that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans over the years, while 8 million people have fled Venezuela because of the horrible place that has become, one of the biggest humanitarian crises we have ever seen, despite Venezuela, quite frankly, has the ability to be a very rich country. So hypocrisy and phoniness in this business, especially over on that insane asylum network that you just played, MS Now, it's par for the course. It's to be expected, but they should be called out on it because, again, it's just so disingenuous based on their past statements and what they're saying now, Molly.
Yeah, and, you know, it's a tough crowd over there in some respects, and more specifically, a tough crowd on The View. So tough, in fact, that Jenny McCarthy, who spent some time over there, said that she would never, ever go back. Take a listen to her perspective on that.
They're like, we want to bring you on for light and fluffy and fun, review people on Dancing with the Stars, talk about The Bachelor, like, have some fun. Well, that lasted a week. That lasted a whole week. And back then, I didn't consider myself to be a political person. I'm much more political now in terms of having opinions. They've asked me to come back for, like, reunion shows, and I was like, over my dead body would I ever step foot in that place.
What do you make of that? I mean, first of all, Jenny McCarthy looks absolutely amazing, phenomenal. That's one of the big takeaways. But beyond that, just the discomfort that she still feels today with her experience.
Wow, Molly, we had like a Jedi thing going on there because I was just thinking the same thing. Like, does Jenny McCarthy age? Because, the peak of her career was like 2003. We're a little bit past that now at this point, but she's got that whole Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise thing going on, I guess. But what this proves, Molly, is that Jenny McCarthy enjoys relative sanity and she's not a masochist. If you talk to former staffers or even former hosts on that show, ask Meghan McCain, for example. She has said and will still tell you that is by far the most hateful, toxic, backstabbing, duplicitous, phony group of people on the air that you will ever encounter in this business. It's certainly not the show that Barbara Walters envisioned when she came up with the concept nearly 3 decades ago. And if you go back and look at those early episodes, and I did not too long ago, just to get like a comparison, it's not even remotely resemble the hot mess of a train wreck we see on ABC now. So Jenny McCarthy, good career move. Don't go back there. You're a better person for it.
Yeah, the rare times they invite someone that might even be close to a conservative circle, they come away, with it having looked like an ambush. So we'll see what 2026 brings. Could be entertaining for all of us to talk about.
Yeah.
Joe Concha, always great to talk to you. We appreciate you